Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Okay, let's fix this up here a little bit. There we go. Now all our guests are right there in the middle.
I told you Nick would be on by the time we got on.
You know I always do.
Not always.
Well, almost always.
Almost always. Welcome everybody to another fun edition of Supernatural Talk, and we have, for the first time in a while, more than one guest. We have three of them tonight, and all three of them are in completely different states. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay. So please welcome Hailey, Chris, Regina from the other's side. Not the other side, the other side. So, who the hell are you three?
Well, we actually, Regina and I have been paranormal investigating for a while, and we ran into a guy, and he was like, you should start a TV show. And we kind of talked about it back and forth. Long story short, took several years for us to finally get here. I think, what was it, 8 years, Regina? Yeah, 7. Yeah. 7 years to finally record it. But when we did, we kind of went back and forth with ideas. And then Regina came up with this amazing concept. And from there, we were able to, from the moment that she told me the concept, I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's do it. And we were filming within less than 2 months, I think.
Yeah, it was a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So what do you film?
Jeannie, you want to tell them about the show?
Well, the concept of the show is based around the thought process that I had that there's lots of different people that speak to spirit in different ways. So why are we not all working together towards a common goal to find evidence, find answers? Just because I do it one way doesn't mean someone doesn't do it another way, or maybe a spirit's drawn to them. So we were luckily able to find this great group of people. So again, the concept is I'm a paranormal investigator. Hailey's an intuitive. We have a shaman. We have a tarot card reader. We have a medium. We have a hoodoo practitioner. We have a bone thrower. And we're always constantly looking for other people with unique abilities that can join the cast and bring something different to the show. We have a Wiccan witch. So the list just goes on. And so as we go through the episode, and we hope that everybody watches it, you can see how the communication that is being used, such as myself with being a paranormal investigator using equipment, the tarot card reader's getting the same answers. Hailey's picking up on stuff. So it just is a collective group of people that speak to spirit in different ways, trying to find the same answers.
Do you do it separately? Do you all...
we do it as a team. In the episode that we filmed, we had a 3-person team, and they're all mixed up. It's not the paranormal investigators together and the the Wiccan witch and the shaman together. It's a collective group mixed up. Two nights, teams switched, and just to see if we can find the same kind of answers and results.
That's actually a pretty cool concept.
It actually is pretty amazing, and we've learned a lot from each other, and we hope to continue to learn more. But yeah, it's really interesting because, as we know, as paranormal investigators, spirits are drawn to certain people depending on the location, depending on the environment. So why aren't we putting out these little beacons, meaning different people, and seeing if they get different hits than we get?
So who is... Okay, you're the investigator.
Correct.
What does everybody else do?
I'm an intuitive.
Yeah, Hailey's our intuitive, and then I am also an investigator, and Regina and I co-host the show together, and I'm an executive producer.
That's a
I am also
fancy title for.
I am also an empath.
Okay. That executive producer is a fancy title for anything that goes wrong. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Mm-mm.
Pretty much, yeah. Although I will say, I mean, although we've been fortunate enough that we didn't have a lot go wrong, but the things that did go wrong, I will say I didn't have to handle those alone. I had a big support team behind me.
Yeah, that's really important to
Yeah.
trust them.
Yeah,
Know everybody's
support
with you.
teams are definitely something you've got to have.
Chris,
Chris.
Oh, for sure.
we know that doesn't count as psychic. Sorry.
Psycho.
Hey, Sean, yes, she did say bone thrower, and
Yeah.
I had never heard of a bone thrower either until she brought it up. She was at a convention, I guess, about a year or so ago, and she mentioned it, and I was like, what the heck is that? So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's very interesting to watch what they do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that a couple of weeks back because
Mhm.
we were talking about a bone reader.
Yeah, I've heard of the
Yeah,
bone
same
reader.
thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting how who comes up with this stuff, you know?
This has been way back.
Oh, I'm sure. I believe it.
Before there was tarot cards, they had to have something, and that's what they did.
They used playing cards and then created tarot, I think.
Yeah, and just like the tea leaf, reading the tea leaves, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of the same concept.
Right.
It's trusting spirit to come across however you read it. They'll communicate however you can interpret it.
Right.
And so far, you still only got the one episode up, right?
Correct. Yes. We're working on, we're self-funded, which means that basically all the expenses are ours. Paraflix and Amazon Prime have been awesome and allowed us to host the show on their platforms, but we actually don't see residuals. It takes a while for you to start seeing the income from that, the residuals. So that's why we're kind of working and doing things differently to try and raise the money to begin filming more episodes.
Yep. It's not cheap. That is for sure.
No, not at all.
Now, and who's in Colorado?
Me,
Where at?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not far from me. I'm in Greeley.
I'm about to say either I missed it or I don't know if y'all said. So where are each of you from?
Hailey, you're Colorado Springs. I am from the Dallas, Texas area, and Regina is from Nashville.
And you guys are able to get together and do this? That's expensive.
Yeah, it's definitely not cheap. That's for sure. But we all ended up, I mean, we were going to a different place anyway. So no matter where we would have been, we would have had to travel because we went up to Missouri and none of us live in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just the equipment alone, the camera's probably expensive unless you found a way around that.
We did not find a way around that. The cameras were very expensive.
With you being in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm sure you've probably been to one of mine and Adrian's favorite place, Old Park Hotel out in Ballinger.
I knew you were going to
I
bring
have
that
not.
up.
That actually is somewhere that I do want to go, but I have not. And see, I'm like Hailey. When I was in Nashville, I had, Regina and Jesse and the team. But then when I moved back here, I still don't have many people here that are interested. I have some people that are curious, but I don't have like a team here. I don't have anybody that really does it.
Yeah.
So if I do it,
Yeah.
I would have to travel anyways, most likely.
That's
Yeah, that is one of the ones I want to go to.
If you ever want to do it like on the side with it and everybody can't travel, get with me. I know a lot of people in the Dallas. Are you in Dallas or are you on the outskirts of Dallas?
I'm on the outskirts. I'm in Midlothian.
Okay, because my sister's in Plano, and my
Okay,
nephew's
she's
on.
north. She's north, and I'm a little south of Dallas, so it's about an hour away.
Yeah, but let me know. I know a lot of people in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Of course, you've got your group, but if y'all ever just need to, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm itching. Get with me, and I can try to get you in touch with some people that I would trust out that way.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Heck, the owners of Old Park Hotel would gladly investigate with you. They stay there the whole time anyway. They are amazing.
We'll have to
They're
check
they're
that
awesome
out.
people.
Now, unless they've gone up in price, I mean, because we know things happen, but I think it was like, and tell me if I'm wrong, Adrian. I think it was like $350 for an overnight, and it's like 10 or 11 rooms.
There's
So if
11,
you
I
take
believe.
11, you take that, divide it amongst people, that becomes one of the least expensive, other than the
Mhm.
travel locations, and
Yeah.
it's constantly active.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know, though, because I haven't really, like I said, I've wanted to go there, but I haven't really done anything in Texas. So it is on my list. But I'm also looking for places like to take the show as well to film.
Mm-hmm.
And I about to say that's been. I mean, they have had that on some Nick Groff's things. Ghost Brothers have been there. Now, you, Regina, and I'm sorry, Hailey, I don't know much about Colorado. That goofy one over there does. But have you been up to the Old Stone Jail and Octagon Hall?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I actually am going to Old Stone Jail this Saturday. And it's, I think, my 4th or 5th time there. Yeah. It's actually in Franklin, Kentucky,
Right.
which is right
Right.
across the border. But yes. And I've been to Octagon Hall as well in the same town.
I'm about to say, because my sister, well, my para sister, she actually has been helping bearing them out at Octagon Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Billy and them are awesome over there
Right.
at Old Stone. But yeah, 'cause I'm just south of you in Mississippi.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Yeah, quite a few people on tonight.
Yeah, we do. Been watching.
Oh, wait. I'm going to have a
Yeah.
heart attack. He said hello.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not derogatory yet. Are you sick, Brad?
Brad's being nice. I guess 'cause
You okay?
he's outnumbered by females massively. So he's being
Do we need to send 911? Just like do a dot and send it if we need to send help. Are you being held hostage? What's going on?
Brad and I were just talking yesterday or the day before about him wanting to win the lottery and hiring a bodyguard so that he could just have a chance to go meet you.
He better hire about 3 of them. Randy
Brad,
back to them.
yeah, Brad being nice is a cry for help here, as Jill just said.
Oh, I better watch what I'm saying before this show gets removed.
And Jan, I did not ignore Jesse's message. I just haven't gotten back with him yet. It's been a hellacious week. So, yeah, let Jesse know I have not been ignoring him. He messaged me last week on the show, and I still haven't gotten back with him.
and one that really hasn't been investigated a lot that's north of you, Regina, is I don't know if y'all have Denise and Ernie Pack, but they just bought the Ditto House?
Ditto House.
They've been
Ditto
doing
House.
allowing some investigations there, and they live there, but I don't know, about filming side of it.
They're with
But
Pac-Man Paranormal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so they've been opening up it for investigations.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got some really cool places around them. The Ditto House and Fort Duffield.
I was gonna say Fort Duffield's one of them.
Right.
That's an amazing place to go to, just for the history side of it, not even for the paranormal, just for the history side of it.
That's why I made a presentation for it.
But now, if you see Ernie, you got to eat biscuits in front of him and tell him I told you to do that. Don't
You
give
gotta-
him any
yeah.
biscuits. Eat
I was
in
gonna
front
say,
of him.
if you give him any biscuits and gravy, you'll probably get half price.
That's good to know.
If you give him biscuits, you've made a friend for life.
Yeah.
Which is why I had to tease him during Valentine's Day, because every time I went to Hardee's, the biscuits were heart shaped. So I had to take pictures So I had to take pictures and tag him and eat your heart out, Ernie.
I didn't see that.
It's probably still on my profile if I haven't deleted it yet.
Why would you delete it?
I go and clean out my profile a lot.
Oh, geez, I'd be in big trouble if I tried that.
Yeah,
I could
something
never
I've
do
been doing for years, actually. Just going through and delete. I don't need this crap.
I can never delete my
That gives
stuff.
stalkers something to look at. I don't give a shit.
Are you talking about deleting on your Facebook?
Yeah. The posts you post and stuff. Shit.
Okay.
Let them stalk. I don't care.
I've been going.
God, Brad.
Just yesterday, I left probably 30 different groups.
Mm-hmm.
A good portion of them were
Yep.
either porn infested or archived.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some groups somehow they had gotten taken over by porn sites. Okay, yeah, leave. I
One of
left
which was local here in Illinois that I had to leave, unfortunately, myself. And I knew the guys really well, so I'm thinking, yep, they are definitely hacked. So I got the hell out of there.
Yeah. It happens. I mean, it's Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the most secure website in the world.
Joe, that's not derogatory in old times. That's derogatory now. Or a compliment, whichever way you want to take it.
White biscuits.
That sounds like something that Ernie would say after death. Tight
Yeah.
biscuits.
Nick, couple. Your head, Nick, couple. Your head, Nick. Nope.
I don't know.
It's not a nice term, and it has nothing to do with real biscuits.
I know somebody that would say that, but luckily we don't. Yeah. Oh, look, it's Eileen.
Hi, sweetheart.
My nose is just itching, Zach.
So here's the interesting,
Oh, it's
and this is one of the things that really stuck with me on the last interview that we had, was that Chris and Hailey, you had only known each other for a short amount of time before one of you moved away, and then basically lost touch for how many years, and then just out of the blue, hey, you want to do something?
Yep. It was at least like what, 7 years, 8 years, maybe.
I don't think it was quite that long. It's probably like 4 or 5, or it was probably about 5 years that I didn't see you.
2014.
Well, no, you're right. It was probably about 7 or 8 years. You're right. Yeah. And then when Regina gave me this idea, I kept going through my mind. I was like, I know somebody that I feel like would be a good fit for this. And she immediately popped into my mind. So I reached out to her.
Witch.
I did. I said, "Are you a witch?" She said, "No, not really."
Yeah, people are put where they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me,
I
if
agree.
I love adventuring, so
7 years, I'd probably forget their names.
What's that?
Yeah, I probably would
I
too.
didn't talk to somebody for 7 years, I'd probably forget their names.
That's when you know you're friends, when you can just pick up like that and just keep on. That's when you know you belong together.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life gets in the way.
It's definitely been a lot of fun. And I think that it's kind of, I mean, like not only bonded us, but like Regina said earlier, we're all just learning so much from each other. And we network in ways that that I wouldn't have anticipated us to before. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you try this without filming first, just to see if it would work?
No,
So you just went right into it.
we took a gamble. Yeah, we
yeah,
took
they're like,
a
"You want to
gamble.
do
It was
this
a big gamble.
paranormal investigation?" I'm like, yeah. Don't tell
So-
me twice with all these cool different people. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So where is your like go to want to do investigation to try this out? Like location.
Ooh.
Can you
Okay,
say
so we're really not like sharing the information with the cast because we want them to go in having no knowledge of it, so that any results that they do get are authentic and not, because they, know a history of the location. I will say that as far as, I guess, geographically where, I would love to do something in Colorado, and I have an area in mind. It's just the location itself is a little smaller. In order for the group to split up, you kind of need a bigger location. So I'm hoping to be able to find a second location that's close enough that we can, have the group switch back and forth. But I would love to do somewhere in Colorado. I can't tell you why, just because I love Colorado, honestly.
Well,
I think three of us give you one location that is in Colorado that you can get to.
yep.
I already know what that is.
I can help get you in, and Mr. Chris right here.
Chris just said it. He knows a big location in Colorado.
It's no, we're not going to say.
Well,
it.
hey, if you wanna message me, Chris, and fill me in, or if any of you guys want to message me and fill me in, don't tell the girls here because we don't want them to know. Like literally, it is going to be a super tight secret. They're not going to know. We're just going to let them know an approximate time of when they're flying out. You need to be ready between this time frame, and you'll get to the airport. They'll get their information when they get to the airport. So they really won't know where they're going. We're going to do as much as we can to keep that pretty quiet.
Yeah. And the thing with this one is, even if you live here, you probably don't know about it.
Oh, really? Okay. That's good to know.
Cool.
Now, I will say I lived in Colorado briefly and I loved it. And I always say I want to end up back there. There was a bridge that I investigated with a couple of friends that came to visit. And I can't remember the name of it, but if either of you know of I couldn't even tell you where it is. I just know, I want to say it had like the word third in it. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but there was a bridge in Colorado. If any of y'all know of a specific bridge that's just kind of out in the boonies.
Well, I know.
What she's talking about?
No, I don't, but I'm waiting.
It is. It's Third Bridge. So I'm not. Okay. Yeah. So that was what I was thinking it was. Yeah. Yeah. So I did investigate there, and we had a good time there. That place creeped me out.
How many crew do you have when you travel?
Well, I think we had, I think overall we had 8 cast members, and then probably we ended up having, I think, we only ended up having like
6
or 8 on the crew because at the last minute, 2 of them got COVID.
We'll do it.
Yeah. So we had a very, very, very small crew for this, and it helped to keep costs down, but it added to the stress level.
Well, I'll tell you, there's places here that, like there's a haunted road here, which I won't say anything about what's happened there, nothing else, but there's a haunted road here. It's an 11-mile stretch. Pretty cool.
Okay.
There is a park here. That's pretty cool, which Regina, I'm sure you know what park I'm talking about, but there is a park here. But y'all ever come out this way and get to do that? Chris will give you the information on that. But we have a 2-story house with a basement and a bunch of empty bedrooms. Jeremy will tell you, everybody stays here. They get fed good, more than they want to.
Now, Adrian, where are you at?
I'm in Greeley, Colorado.
Okay, Greeley, Colorado. Okay.
Yeah,
About an hour from Denver.
Okay.
room and board, and you will be fed well.
Don't do it as a
Brad's
trap.
back. Brad's back.
Hey, Jeremy, who's this Facebook user?
Oh, Brad, if I ever got you here, buddy, it would be what is the name of that Stephen King book where she ties him in the bed and breaks his legs? What is
Misery?
that?
Oh, misery. Get that
I
block
do
of
remember
wood and
that
just
scene
knock
where
his
she
ankles.
puts the block between his ankles and then just
Oh God, that was nasty.
Yeah. Brad, come on up. Come on.
So that's gonna be the real misery right there. Oh, it's Dave Wismer. Okay, what's up, Dave?
Yeah, but I'll send you some information. Chris, I'll send you information on the whole thing where you can look it up.
yeah, that would be awesome.
It's all within a 5-hour drive of each other between here and the final destination. There's
Oh,
3
cool.
things.
Nice.
Oh, that would be a fun road trip.
And we
Yeah,
can
it would.
Including my crazy house. This is built in 1908, and it's all but just a few years after it was built. It's all been family lived and died here.
Oh wow. Okay.
and it's got
Well,
a
to keep that in
very-
mind, I'm planning on coming up to Colorado and hopefully in May.
What were you saying, Jeremy?
I was saying it's got a very red hall.
Yeah,
It does. It's got the the upstairs, the stairway and the hallway is all original, and it's red carpet and red
Wallpaper.
wallpaper.
Really?
Yeah, and that's where people feel whatever's here.
It's almost intimidating to walk through.
yeah. Though surprisingly, the ceiling is not red. That's just white, but everything else is red though.
That would be awful.
You
That'd be
live in
like
it?
awful.
That would have been overkill.
See,
No, this is
Regina
the
and
thing.
I. Regina and I talked a long time ago. We would both love to open like a haunted B&B, just to live in it because we think it would be so cool. I mean, also to do paranormal investigations with the guests. But how cool would it be to
There we go.
live in something that's haunted?
After a while, you quit even realizing anything's. Now, there'll be times that I will have something standing beside my bed talking to me and wake me up. But other than that, I mean, I don't even realize
It's like a
anything's here.
quiet room.
People walk in and go, yeah, people walk in and go, what is that, man? Like, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know.
Bridge.
He lives here.
Kinda
Couldn't tell you.
Colorado.
What about Colorado, Nick?
No, it's what Chris said. He actually put the exact location. Third Bridge is in Bennett, Colorado.
I don't even know how far that is from me. I've only lived in Colorado 3 years.
I want to say Bennett was. Did we have to go south of? I don't even remember.
Actually,
I just know it was kind of
South
out there.
from you.
It's an hour and 8 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like Denver, right outside of Denver, between Denver and Aurora.
And it looks like it would be maybe just a little bit longer for Hailey to get to.
Huh?
So it's almost right in between you and Hailey, Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 8 minutes from here. It's over to the side, but between Denver and Aurora.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out. That's one thing I did not know anything about. Chris, you want to meet me there?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Colorado Springs because we got lost in there.
Yeah. That was a nightmare. We were stuck for what, like
It
half
wasn't a
hour?
night. It was not a nightmare.
We got left
It
behind.
was-
We got left behind by you guys.
Taking out for you.
It was an adventure. You can't look at things like that. It's an adventure. You got to see things you wouldn't have got to see.
That is true.
Yeah. I was on the time crunch that day.
Yeah, he was the driver.
Yeah, but check-in was until we got there. It's all good. Okay, Chris. Let's message me and we will find a time when it's not sleeting outside.
Is that what it's doing? now?
What's the weather like right there where you're at now?
Yesterday it was 60, 59, 60. And today it's sleeting.
Yeah, same here.
It needs to stop. It's over. I'm done.
We were in the 80s today, like low 80s, but still
Are you
80s.
kidding me? It was in the 40s over here. And unlike last week where we had tornadoes, which was in the 70s then, but now we're down in the 40s.
You expect that in Chicago. Chicago is synonymous with snow, ice.
Regina, what is it? What's it like in Nashville right now?
I think it was 68 today.
Oh, that's good.
It was nice.
It's been about mid-50s the last couple of days here.
Sean says
Yeah, it's
70s
okay.
here
Hot
in
flashes
Oklahoma.
make it 90 here, so it's good.
70s here in Oklahoma.
Yeah. My son sent me pictures of his dog out there running in Oklahoma.
Brad, don't even start. Do not even start.
Now you see why Brad gets picked on.
Yeah.
Well,
He starts it.
it's
I
picked up
promise you.
too. So right now, this is Eileen's cue. Go ahead, Eileen.
She's been on mute. Don't give her ideas.
I'm just saying on mute because I didn't want like any like extra noises to come interrupting things. But yes, Illinois.
God damn it.
You got going on there, girl.
What's up, shit?
So
Yes, that's right. I was expecting a gift tomorrow from Brad. Speaking of which, I'm almost worried to know what he's sending me
Got
in the mail.
cockroaches in it.
I hope not. If it's not, I'm calling the exterminator.
it's
Yep.
a cockroach-shaped REM pod.
By then they're already in your house. It don't matter.
He says it may
Speaking
not
of-
be. You have a good point. It
Speaking
may
of
not
Brad-
may not be roaches, but that still doesn't mean it could be a roach REM pod.
Speaking of Brad, do y'all have anybody who builds your equipment or do you buy equipment?
We actually right now we buy our equipment. Now I do know Regina. I think you met or you found someone who does build equipment as well, and you've reached out to him. Is that correct?
And Lee also builds some of his equipment as well. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't he build one of the camera setups that we used on our investigation?
Yeah, he built that.
That's right. I
SLS.
did remember that. I don't know why I forgot about that.
That was really impressive.
Because
I'm not
that's-
familiar with all the technology, though, to be fair, but like, I don't know. I'm a creative person, so I can appreciate when somebody puts all the work into something, and then watching it, seeing how it works was really cool.
But
'Cause that's
we're
kinda
we're totally open to being connected with somebody who builds equipment. That would be amazing.
Well,
that's
Brad
what
here
Brad
is
does.
this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brad builds
Brad's your
equipment.
guy.
Yeah, he can also customize your equipment with your own logos and things like that.
Nice.
He does like a lot of 3D printing, things like that. Oh,
Yep.
Jeremy, I got something for you. You haven't seen in a minute. Hold on.
Oh, puppy!
Dog.
What's it doing with the cats?
He ate the cat.
I'm in the living room. So I get to spend some time with him.
Where are the cats?
That we eat.
The cats until they still haven't all gotten acclimated together. So the cats are still like in the bedroom until I get them all acclimated so he doesn't kill the cats.
No.
So,
Eileen?
me saying that he ate the cat is probably not far from the
Possible. But you know, I got that one that has seizures, so I try to keep her calmer until he's learned.
Eileen, you should have seen Tuesday night show, and Jeremy knows exactly what I'm about to bring up. It's when we had Kate on, and her cat's eyes were like glowing blue. That
Wow.
almost could put the fear of God in that dog. You know, see these glowing cat eyes.
That cat would put the fear of God in anybody.
So the guy's meet Bear. This is Bear.
Oh, I have a bear. He's a hound, though,
You big bad bear or
and a shepherd.
oh
Took some pics.
what's that?
So did I, Chris.
He
What
was
70s?
he was beaten and abandoned, so we got him
Aw.
at 10 months.
How
So
old
we
is
found
he?
him on one of those Facebook pages, and I was like, "No, we've always, you know, this house
Hi,
that we
Bear.
moved into had nothing but German Shepherds in it. And when we moved in, we're like, oh, it kind of fit.
How old is he?
He's probably about 2. Well, he's pushing 2 now.
Oh, so he's still a puppy.
He was pretty good size when you got him.
Yeah, like I said, he was about 10 months.
He was in that awkward gangly stage.
He's well behaved, except when he nibbled me yesterday and left me a bruise. I almost kicked him across the room.
Yeah, you got to put an end to that quickly, or
Yeah.
he
I
will.
love him, but you don't bite me.
Mm-mm.
Now,
No.
now, Chris, I wanna kind of circle back to this third bridge that you went to, because I have this thing about bridges. I love them. So, what kind of stories can you tell us about Third Bridge?
So I don't even remember the history. I just remember I had 2 friends that flew in from Nashville right before, and actually in February, right before I left Colorado, and we wanted to do some ghost hunting. We and I just kind of did like a Google search of haunted places, and it said it was a bridge, and I followed the directions there. I don't even remember what the history was, but I know that absolutely every piece of equipment that we put out, we were getting hits on. K2 meter, flashlights. We had the spirit box out. We couldn't really I couldn't determine what was being said on the spirit box, but it was he just gave a legend there. But yeah, when we first arrived, the street, I mean, like, it's completely pitch black out there. It was, I'm sure it still is, like literally in the middle of nowhere. And we were sitting on the side of the road, and we were there. It was just us for probably about 30 minutes. And I mean, we were getting really good and into it. And one of the girls that was with me, she was like, I'm really feeling like we need to go over here. And she was walking down along the side, and we saw a car coming towards us. They pulled over on the side of the road, facing it on the other side of the road, but facing us. And I don't know, it was just like we all got an eerie feeling. They sat there for they never got out of their car. We ended up leaving. But we were like, to me, just the whole experience of being there, that entire area was very, very, very creepy. But additionally, I felt a very heavy presence. Specifically what that presence was, I'm not really sure, but so then that might be a good place to put Steve.
Chris put the whole story up right here.
So I'm looking at the bridge right now on Google Maps. It is very isolated.
The local high school students hanging out there, that could explain people sitting in the car and not getting out. Or they're trying to get a thrill too and too scared to get out.
It's legend tripping, as they call it.
Yeah. The native, what do you call it, Nick?
Legend tripping. That's usually like mainly high school and college students that want to test out, obviously, a location that has an urban legend to it to see if it's true or something like that. You know, that's what I used to do. Yeah. Huh?
Okay. I said, damn, I'm old. I've never heard that. Anyway.
And you said it's called what?
Legend tripping.
Legend tripping. Okay.
There's a Wikipedia page about it.
Now, I am seeing that there is a power line that runs literally right next to the road.
Now, Sean said he's seen it on some of the ghost shows. Now, it's interesting. I mean, this definitely sounds really interesting. Chris, remind me to do eventually an episode of Nick Files on this bridge.
Well, let us go out there, and then we can add our footage to it.
Yeah. He said it's not me, Adrian.
No, you didn't say it. No, I did not say a word, did I?
Yeah, Adrian, since it's only an hour away from you, I'd like to go there when I come to go to Vegas.
Yep, we're gonna go.
And maybe we can get Chris to come up from where he's at, and get Hailey to come up from where she's at.
I'm down.
I'm down. When are you going?
July.
I'm going the first week of July. I got Vegas on the 2nd.
Yeah, it's
the Todd.
I like the Native American part of that. I can imagine there's some things there that I'd like to go talk to.
Yeah.
There you go, Eileen. Your buddy the Todd is on.
Since we got the Native American thing there, maybe I can bring my death whistle with me.
Yeah.
Just don't bring
Oh,
the
that's
dog
right. You were
whistle.
talking about that on that last interview.
I can consult with like a local shaman on that too to see their opinion on how that would go down for us.
Well, if it's
I can tell you how that goes down. My son is half Indian. His dad's full-blooded, and he was telling me that where his dad's buried now is all Indian. It's in Oklahoma, so it's country, it's tiny. It's all pretty much family in this cemetery. Nobody takes care of it except the families. Well, we were out there, and I hadn't seen where his dad was buried, so I went out there just to go see. And I said, "Hey, do you have any issues out here?" And he said, what do you see?" I was like, he said, "There's an elemental out here. It's fine." I see him quite often when I come out here and take care of it. I said, "In broad daylight?" And he said, "Yep." Okay. So the next time we were out, we did that. Broad daylight, mind you. Not at night, because there's no lights out there, period. I mean, your lights aren't going to shine through the whole thing. So we did that. The only thing I think, there's no wolves, coyotes, anything like that out there. It's Oklahoma. You got to get further than that. But we heard some rustling, like maybe we messed with some animals. But other than that, there was nothing bad. But the Indians used to holler at each other that way with the high-pitched whistles, or the smoke signals, drums, whatever, depending on they needed to be quiet. So I don't see where that would bother anything, except maybe being outside and around here attracting some coyotes. That might be something. Jeremy?
Yeah, someone paid the ultimate price for that.
Hey,
With
I
that
have to
kind of
interrupt
whistle.
for 2 seconds. I love you too, Todd.
that
The
wasn't me.
Todd. Yeah, see, just don't use a dog whistle. Absolutely.
That was not me that used it outside.
I know it wasn't.
Yeah, there's plenty of smoke signals in Colorado. The thing is, you might even see smoke signals that aren't really there with the stuff they're selling in the shops now. I mean, I walked into a store the other day, and I know, Jeremy, you've heard the story, but Eileen, I don't think you were here. Walked into just a vape shop. Yes, they sell CBD, and you can go to the dispensaries to get the THC and all that. Damn mushrooms in a vape shop. What?
They have it at the gas station up the road where I live.
Yeah, I'm like, what? We used to just hear about this kind of stuff, never actually see it. Now it's right there where you can buy it. What?
Since you brought that up, there is something I do want to ask you to see if this is actually true or not. I saw a video where somebody took just one of them small edible gummy bears, put it in a little pan, filled it up with water, sprinkled some salt in it, put it in the fridge, and it came out and the bear was big. Like the gummy bear soaked up the water and caused it to swell. Does that actually happen?
Yeah, it's possible.
I can see that if you're heating it up.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
Adrian's still listed in my phone under Gummy Bear.
I love that song, but yeah.
Hey, Nick, that actually makes our logo pop out better than what your other one was.
Wait, what was that?
Your background right now, Nick, actually makes our logo pop out better than what you had with the old background.
Hold on, your little gummy bear thing. Let me show you here, Jeremy. This is what happens when somebody likes gummy bears a little too much. I could say that probably.
Well, yeah, I remember seeing that last time.
Yeah.
I think they sell them at Target too.
These? I don't know.
I remember one time
It's
I
100
think
times
they're like
larger.
Yeah, I remember one time, I think, or it might have been Walmart or something, but I think it was just seasonal.
It is very dusty.
Well, it's been hanging up there for a while.
It has been hanging since we were dating, yes.
Okay, wait. Y'all used to date?
No, my husband. My husband.
Oh, okay.
No, my husband. Zach. The one is. Well, he is my work husband. I'm the only one that can get on him and not get too much backlash.
It's a give and take thing.
Yeah, don't think I don't get it if I do something.
Yeah, Zach, he's an extremely hard worker. Just a couple of weeks ago, he did a 22-hour podcast for veteran suicide awareness. So that was a pretty cool event. Regina, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What was there a defining moment of how you got the idea for this kind of show? Was there anything specific that popped in your mind, or did you just sit there wondering, what if we did this and this and this and this all in one thing? Where did the thought of this come from?
It was during the pandemic when I was stuck in the house and I couldn't leave. I was working from home. It was in the very beginning of the pandemic where we didn't know much information about anything. And it just was like, I was thinking about getting a medium reading because the reason I'm an investigator is I lost my sister to suicide many years ago. So I'm always open to trying to communicate with her and other family members. But I'm like, okay, they use mediums on all these paranormal shows, and sometimes they'll bring in a witch or sometimes they'll bring in a shaman. I'm like, why are we not all together in one show? Like, why do we always just have to have just one person and the investigator? So to me, to have a different kind of paranormal investigation type of show, you have to show something different. It can't be the same thing over and over. So therefore, the idea was kind of born, and I held on to it for a couple of years. Chris and I had been in contact, and she had ideas on other shows and would call me and we'd talk about it, and she'd consult me. And finally, one day she came to me and she's like, I'm just out of ideas. Like, I just don't know what else to do. And I was like, well, I kind of have this idea. And I told her, and she was like, yeah, we're doing that. So
that's what it takes sometimes, because you sit and think, and after a while your own thoughts get boring. So when you present them to someone else, they're like, hey, wait a minute, you have something there, let's put this with it, and you got something good.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And with me being an investigator and being very open-minded to getting answers and things from the spirit world, and also being an empath, it's like, why wouldn't I go to somebody else to do something that I can't do, or to show me a way to do something different that I'm not aware of? So therefore, collectively, it's very interesting. And it's very interesting to be a part of the cast that way, because again, like we said earlier, we're all still learning from each other, and that's what it's about. No one's an expert in this field.
Well, one thing we've talked about in the past is what people don't realize is so many people do have other abilities that they've never tapped into. Mm-hmm. And when you work with other people, that can also bring out some abilities you may not even know you have.
Right.
During all that.
Right.
I know Adrian here still swears be damned that I got something.
And I got same thing with me too. I mean, there's not just Adrian, just other investigators I've worked with have said the same thing.
Everybody has it.
It's
a matter how.
I've said it all the time.
Why do you think I left you in the basement, or the sub basement, just to see if you could play out?
Everybody has it. I say it's like teaching you're teaching a math class. We all learn differently. Some of us are hands-on, others are visual, others are audio. getting messages is the same way. It is exactly the same.
That's
But
why.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I always say a lot of times that not necessarily. I just use it just for lack of a better term. I would just usually say we are all psychic in one way or another. You know, maybe not 100%. I mean, maybe not 100% like some others are, but we do have it in some way, shape, or form.
We all have it. The thing is, how do we use it? It's some of us, like empath. Some of us use it that way. Others use it as a gut feeling. They'll say it's a gut feeling. Well, yeah.
I think of it like a muscle too. Like it's a choice to flex it or not. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
The biggest hurdle everybody has to get over is trust your instinct. Don't worry about what somebody else is going to think when you're saying it. Because if you've ever done it yourself or had somebody do a reading and they're popping off with crap that how can they know? How can they know? They're popping off with a name, a number. Okay, yes, some of it, you can say the number 19 and it's going to mean something to somebody, of course. It could be somebody's birthday, your parents' birthday, your brother, whatever it is. But when they start things like, you're doing a one-on-one sitting and you get, why in the hell am I seeing a little yellow rubber ducky? Okay. As somebody doing the reading, you're putting yourself out there sounding really stupid because you don't know if that's what it relates to or if you just pulled it out of thin air. But when that sitter goes, oh my gosh, that was his nickname or, whatever it was, you have to learn to trust yourself in the dumbest situations. And yeah, you're going to be wrong at times. So what? That's all part of it.
I had someone keep telling me they kept seeing Oscar the Grouch. And they're like, I don't know why I'm seeing Oscar the Grouch. And they were describing someone who I hear all the times with me. And that's the moment. I mean, as soon as they said, why do I see Oscar the Grouch? I broke down crying. And it was because my aunt, she had spina bifida and she was telling me all about my aunt's illness and all this and couldn't figure it out. And my aunt having that was still one of the most upbeat people you'd ever meet. So we called her Grouch. So you just never know.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were going to go the show without doing this.
Adrian, that's not possible.
I really thought we were going to.
It's no different than what Eileen does to me.
Well, I will say this: you were talking about like everybody has a little bit of a psychic in them. And intuitively speaking, Hailey obviously is very gifted at that. She's actually kind of helped me open up some, and she even points stuff out to me. She was like, look at you using your intuitive side. And I don't even realize I'm doing it, but it kind of was amazing to me. And I think this is just kind of one more example of how people just don't believe in it, but they really should. We were on the phone talking and I lost a book. I couldn't find the book. I said, I know I saw it. I put it somewhere so that it would be safe. It was one my son wanted. And I was literally like frantically searching for it. And Hailey has taught me that when you want something, like if you've lost it, just take a minute and stop and ask the universe to show you where it is. And I just wasn't able to do that day. And all of a sudden she's like, I feel like it's by a door, like next to a door, like right beside a door. And literally in that moment, as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, I bet I know where it is. And I walked into my bedroom and literally right next to my door is a cabinet that I didn't even think about. And I have no idea why, but I put it down there and it was there. And so I was like, how did you do that? And it's amazing how people have that gift and they just don't even realize it, or if they do realize it, like maybe they're scared to use it,
Right.
Matter of fact, we're doing a show tomorrow on, and this has nothing to do with this, but we're doing a show tomorrow on the beginning of witchcraft. And so, I'm going through all this, the witch trials, all that. We've all done it. It's we've all seen it. So I'm just going through it going, okay, what is going on here? How did we get to this point? And the reason I was looking at this is I had a person tell me, you cannot be a witch unless you have witch in your blood. The fuck? Number one, who was the first one? And how did they get that in their blood? Come on, let's grow up a little bit. And so I'm looking through stuff. And, we've all known intention is huge. Intention on everything is just huge. And you can, they do voodoo, hoodoo, whatever. It's intention. No matter how you do it, how you practice it, you could go out there and chop a tree down. And it could be like voodoo, poking pins. Of course, we're not going to go chop a tree down, but it's the same. It's intention. If your intent is to hurt somebody, that's going out there.
Yeah.
And that's like her telling you, ask the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's intention, and that's how it happens. And it hit me like, wow, it's, we all have this different religion, different this, different that, different beliefs, but it all comes down to intention. And almost all religions are be a good person. I mean, all it amounts, be a good person.
Yep, I agree.
Hi, Robert. You in the hospital again?
If only people had that line of thinking back in 1692.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, if they had it now, look at this world right now.
Oh my God. I mean,
the intent that's going out there right now is just hatred.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
Hatred. It's I'm going to be better than you. It's awful. It's trying to hurt people. No.
Was that rehab? Robert said, "Oh, Adrian."
Okay, awesome. How you doing with that leg, or lack of bottom part? He had his leg amputated a while back.
He had a really bad. He had
Yeah.
a really bad, terrible infection on his leg that obviously was incurable. So they had to amputate it. And I've actually been checking in with Robert, every now and then to check to see how he's been doing.
He's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Obviously, he has to learn how to walk again, but they got him a prosthetic leg, I believe. What's up, Joe?
That's the cool part about our audience here. We know their stories, we know their life. They're more than just the audience. They're actually, friends.
Yeah, we have a really good community.
And they're worldwide too, because Robert's from Australia, and also that person.
We don't talk about that. Shh, he's down under. We don't talk about that.
Oh, see, here you go. They're wearing me out. Walking, balancing, walking with crutches, walking dead.
Hey, you got this.
I gotta be honest, I'm actually surprised that they're having you working on walking right now this soon, because it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but he's got to keep that other leg strong. He can't lay around.
Right.
And he needs that blood flow to the stump now to get everything going where it's supposed to. And maybe are they looking at a prosthetic leg, Robert? Hey, Rich, how you doing?
You got this.
Yep, he does. He absolutely does.
Jeremy, I gotta ask real quick, but what Chris said? Have a counter like for that, like for Tom's World. What the hell is he talking about?
You know how you have that little counter for
for
just like
Tom's channel, YouTube channel.
Yeah, just like there's that F-bomb counter that they had for Terry
Skeleton Key,
the old show. Remember that?
What are we counting, Chris?
That's what I'm wondering.
We're counting how many times you threatened Brad's life, or
Oh, here, I got a better idea. Let's just do shots every time. We'll all be drunk. How about that?
Here you go. Here's another answer with Robert. Yeah, he has been using that prosthetic leg. I was right then.
Awesome. I know that hurts for a while. It's got to get calloused, but damn it, it'll be worth it.
$6 million man.
Yeah, some of us now know what that's like.
Yeah. Chris.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to hop off, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate it and enjoyed it. I have to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, so
Great.
No,
Oh man.
yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Nice to meet all of you.
Bye,
Nice
Regina.
meeting you,
Hope we see you
Regina.
soon.
We'll have you
Take
back
care.
on another time.
Thanks, Jeremy. Bye.
I'm here, been listening. I just keep going off because I got so much going on here sometimes. I try to be at least
Robert.
semi-respectful. Not
awesome.
very often.
Awesome, Robert.
What I alluded with Chris last time, with Chris and Hailey, is that the whole concept, based on certain things that we have experienced, just seemed like it would be a total failure. But somehow the way that they did it, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, I don't see why it wouldn't, simply because it is. I mean, like Regina said earlier, why don't we all do this together? Well, because people are assholes, and everybody that's different from you, you go, oh no, that's not the way it's done.
Right.
Instead of coming together,
Yeah.
it's why are they doing it like that? That's stupid.
Everybody thinks there's this bubble and you're supposed to stay in this bubble and you
Yeah.
can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm the first to tell you, if I ever hear someone say I'm a paranormal expert, I'm going to laugh in your face all day
Yep.
long. I don't care if you've been doing this 100 years. You're not an expert. And
Yeah,
that's
well, we were really
that's my pet peeve.
we were really surprised to see, because like you guys said, we honestly kind of expected maybe a little combativeness between some of them, like if they didn't think what one was doing was right. But we were really impressed to see the way they were asking questions and the way that they were working together. And one thing you didn't see was we didn't ever get to put the Wiccan and the shaman together on at the same time, and we really wanted to do that. And so we are planning on doing that. But like even since then, different people have connected. Like for example, the Wiccan and the shaman, Steve and Colleen, have actually really connected, and they've talked. And I think they're doing some networking stuff. And then the same thing, like we've all kind of grown and bonded. And so like when you guys were talking about your viewers here, how they're kind of like part of you now, they're like your little family. Well, that's how we are. I mean, we all talk at least once a week. Hailey and I talk multiple times a week. So it has become that great. We have really bonded, and you'll see Steve Wagner, the shaman, he has a book, Simpatico, and it's really about how everything is kind of connected, and really it is related. People just call it different things or describe it differently, but it's all really similar. And so when we presented him this idea and he started talking about it, he said he loved it. He said, you're blurring those lines, and I love to see that. So I know that it has just been really good, kind of watching this evolve and watching this grow. And hopefully we're like on the very beginning of starting some new community, a little new spiritual community, I think, that kind of can bring these people together.
I'll say this,
And for
the risk for me to even, because like I wasn't openly like publicly saying I was intuitive and stuff. It's things that I've shared with like mostly my friends. Like my family didn't believe me. I didn't have anyone teaching me. I was all like self-taught. I've never done a paranormal investigation before. I've channeled a couple times prior to that. I was expecting to kind of go in. I'm like, I'm probably going to look stupid, but this is the best adventure that I've ever been presented. So why not at least try and make the most of it, have a good time. And because of this show, I've been more in tune and connected with community. I've been accepted by the spiritual community as being gifted too. And just also too, having some of the technology that we had, like there were some things that happened behind the scenes that helped validate me more as an intuitive with my gifts and give me more confidence to explore and use it too. Because as you know, like there's no guidebook to any of this shit. So, and where I grew up, it's like I didn't have like people to teach that wanted to do any of that stuff with me or teach or learn or whatever. It would just, everyone likes to be entertained by it, but they don't actually want to dive deeper in that. And I feel like this gives us all the opportunity to kind of dive deeper a little bit more and making those connections. In the book that she was talking about, like, after like we filmed the show, like, Steve like gifted that book to me with like the wolf fur and kind of made a thing of it. And I just felt, I've just never felt so close with, I didn't find my community yet at that point. So then when that happened, I'm like, holy shit, I finally have like my people. Like I can get weird with y'all, and I love that. Like, and it's not like woo-woo craziness or anything. So,
Well,
everything's craziness around here.
With y'all being so far apart, if there's ever times that one of you or many of you cannot be there, have y'all ever done the remote viewing of the locations like together?
That's not something we've done.
no.
It is something we would consider, but I don't know that it would be something we would be able to do for the show. But that would be, that actually would be interesting.
At least it gets the other person, even if they're not on the show, more involved. Like I joke with my para sisters, and every location I go to, I call them, and I'm like, because I don't really do. I mean, don't really do a lot of that, but I'll call them. I'm like, okay, you're doing the walkthrough with me. And they'll start hitting on stuff, left and right. So I tell them that they've investigated more locations than they've been to.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Hey, you'd be good at that. you could do that.
Do you think there might be a way to mix in the bone throwing with tarot reading?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, they actually.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Neither one of the bone thrower and the tarot reader have not actually met in. They met in person very briefly, but they've never worked together. And they're actually both very excited to work together. They're like, they've talked and they're like, we're ready to make things happen. And I'm excited for that, Max, for that patch or para.
Now, another thing for your networking, have you guys considered going to paranormal conventions as a crew and showing people how well you work together and showing other people, hey, this shit is possible?
Yeah.
So I did a convention in Nashville back last October, which was great. But the problem is, with everybody being so far apart, it's kind of hard because we'd all have to travel for it. So it is a plan once we get more episodes filmed. It is a plan that we're hopefully going to be able to start attending a lot more conventions and events like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, I think, of course, I'm the old one here. So,
by many years.
I know, right? I know, right, Miss Hot Flashes losing your boobs?
Eileen, you're only 24. You don't understand.
Only 24.
Chris, as long as you are the one speaking to people, I don't know who the other is, that's alongside you, that's in charge of it. But as long as you're the one speaking to people, you have that demeanor. You have that. It's not no nonsense, but it's like, we're all going to get along here. We're all going to, we're here for a common goal. And it doesn't leave room for a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I will say, I think the negative side of the paranormal world, we all focus on a little too much, meaning like the people who are trying to bring it down. But that's almost anything in life. You've always got those bad seeds that make everything look bad. But I think all in all, most people in the paranormal world are good.
Right.
Or at least have good intentions. I mean, you don't have to get along with everybody. I always call it's like being with your family. You don't have to like them all, but if you're at a family reunion, you just don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
But it's like I think we focus so much on that, but don't realize we're all focused on the same goals. And if we could just tune out those few people, the few dozen handfuls out of everybody that's paranormal, I think it'd be all fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Rich, I have not forgotten about you. Life got crazy. I have not forgotten about you. I promise.
Well, the other thing too, and it's obviously it's worth bringing up, but Hailey and Chris, you guys obviously you guys probably haven't seen this. I often make these special posts that I try to tag as many investigators as, not for attention or anything like that. It's just because I usually will often have something very important to say. Of course, I usually do it mainly with holidays for the most part. So, but it's not just celebrating certain holidays. I usually put these reminders about who we all should, what we're supposed to be about, and just have a positive, friendly message to it. And I'll tell you, when I put these little speeches, if you will, down, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And, I tried my absolute best of trying to get that message spread for the entire paranormal community worldwide. Now, a lot of people, of course, a lot of them do agree, including these guys right here. But unfortunately, though, as we just brought up, because there's those that are just doing it for themselves, giving the more negative image. Unfortunately, in spite of my best efforts, a lot of times it's often ignored by many others.
Yeah. Well, and we can't change people. We can't change their intent toward the universe, themselves, other people. We can't change that, and that's okay. But putting that out there can make somebody's day a little bit better, or remind those that are good, if they have negative thoughts or just upset with somebody, to think, you know what, he's right. Let's move on.
Yeah,
it's always good to put up something positive.
And that's actually with what I was about to get to next. When I make these holiday, again, they're actually music posts. I'm obviously brightening up everyone's day because it's a certain holiday. Like I know I'll be doing it again for this upcoming St. Patrick's Day. And, I've always told myself every time I put these together that if I'm even able to reach out to even just one I know they say this a lot for a lot of things. If I'm even able to reach out to just one investigator about what I'm trying to tell them, then that means I have done something right by putting it together. And obviously it's been more than one. Definitely more than one.
That's the way it works. And I think Hailey will tell you, I can tell Hailey's been doing this, probably born with it and just figuring it out.
Yep.
I think you're a lot more than intuitive, but
probably I'm taking shamanistic classes right now to kind of figure out like where my strongest abilities are. So, and then that way I can like try to like network with it a little bit, use it or help people, and then also just be more aware. I'm not saying I'm going to be a shaman if that's something if I'm meant to do so, then I would gladly do that, but that's not up to me to decide with that. But the education I do get from it, like Psychopump, like that's just a class I should be taking here soon. That's going to help me enhance these abilities so I can do more of these paranormal investigations. So I'm really looking forward to that with more of the mediumship. Are y'all familiar with that term, Psychopump?
No, I wasn't.
It's basically mediumship and channeling and stuff. It's just, that's the terminology, I guess, or the verbiage and everything besides, I guess, mediumship. I guess it's more technical, I guess.
Okay. After the show, I've only been in, nobody would ever believe this if they didn't know me. I've only been in the field about 6-7 years now. I just happened to meet the right people when I first came in. So, and I had I didn't believe in it at all. I said, my mom died when I was 8. So my thing was, if somebody can come back and talk to you, your mother damn sure would. Yeah. And she did. Absolutely. So, I
disagree with that. I think that sometimes if our loved ones are still around and but they don't want to speak to us because they want us to let them go. And if they speak to us, it makes it harder for us to let them go.
Or they'd scare you. I was 8.
Right.
You know, they'd scare you. That, you know, as much as I wanted it, I knew.
Well, I've also learned from like my classes too, is like they also got other things to do besides talk. Like they help welcome in new family members, like childbirth during those stages, or when someone's passing over. They gather for that. So,
but it's funny because I got put with the right people. And when someone told me you can do mediumship, I'm like, yeah, sure. And when they were teaching me, I'm like, anybody can pop anything. You know, the other side of me, the logical side of me is going, anybody can pop anything out of their mouth and make it sound like, you know, and I had to quit overthinking that. And I've only been doing that for about a year. Actually, and I don't put it out there like, you know, hey, I do this. And, you know, I don't get paid for it. I do not. I have friends that will come to me or send somebody to me and say, look, I need help. I can't promise I can help because that person may not come through.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know what they're looking for. So I just tell them what I'm thinking, right or wrong, because a lot of times that's not what they want to hear. They want you to sugarcoat it. And I can't.
I think the three of y'all know, so my mom passed away back in 2000, and you know, I have a lot of friends who with psychic abilities or medium, and medium friends, but so one time this lady knew my mom passed. I didn't really know her. And of course, she's sitting there telling me someone's with me, and I'm thinking, okay, she had just found out my mom passed. I'm in my mind, I'm going, here we go. She's supposed to bring in my mom, you know, trying to maybe you know do all this. Mm-hmm. Well, it was funny because I actually ended up believing her because one thing that she said was, she says, your mom wants you to know something. And I said, what? Because again, I'm like you, Adrienne. My mom never came to me.
Yeah.
And she says, your mom, she wants you to know that they don't have clearance racks at funeral homes. I died out laughing. I called my sister. My sister forgot all about the conversation. And my mom was a clearance rack queen. This is back in the days where you wanted every credit card to prove that your credit was good. Mm-hmm. And which ruins your credit. But so when we went to go get her dress for her funeral, we had to go shopping at the clearance rack because we knew she'd kill us. When we were looking for her casket, my sister and I looked at each other and we looked at the person at the funeral home and said, do you have a clearance section? And nobody but me and my middle sister knew this. Yep. But this lady came across with it. So then it got me and my sister going. When that happened, we're like, well, why does she never visit any of us? You know, I do this. Why does she not come to me? Yeah. Well, Todd and Leanne Eskew went to my sister's house with me because we were going on our way to Ballinger. So we just stayed the night at my sister's one night. And we decided, because my sister said some weird things had been going on in her house because the previous owner had passed away, getting stuff ready for, I believe, a baby shower or something. And she passed out or something at the grocery store and never came back home. So my sister keeps smelling baked goods in the house, and all the woman loved to bake. And my sister, she burns water. So she keeps smelling like baked cookies.
Burn
and all.
Water? How do you do that?
You can, trust me.
But
I don't know how that's possible.
Basically, my sister can't cook worth crap. So she did not get that part of the family. But so we all put some equipment out throughout my sister's house expecting this woman. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, every time me and my sister would mention mom, the equipment would go off. And the equipment's like down the hallway. The dog is with us. The Todd, Leanne, me, and my sister are all in the living room. No one is down the hallway. So equipment's going off. but it happened. I'm wanting to say, and I'm sure Todd's gone by now, but I want to say 3 or 4 times every time we said mom, the equipment went off. So my sister was like, well, why doesn't she visit us any other time? I said, because we were together. I think she was waiting.
The Todd.
No,
The
it's not.
Todd.
It's not duh or the.
It's
But,
the.
but I think she was waiting for us to be together because if it did bother us, her coming back or visiting us, we had each other to lean on. And plus, we had other people there that could help us through it. And of course, it didn't bother me. It kind of bothered my sister a little bit, but I think that's one reason, that they do it when they're ready to do it.
Yeah.
Or they're there anyway, and you're not putting equipment out every time you turn around. They might be there all the time.
Yeah.
I think they can come and go as they please, and there is no time, there is no space. You can think of somewhere and be there, and it can be Jupiter. I mean, they don't have restrictions, so that's why people holler, "Oh my goodness, this went off here and then it went off there. It can't be the same thing." Well, why can't it? I mean, how are they restrained? We're restrained by our legs, but how are they?
Well, that's like when we were filming. I mean, one of the huge piece of evidence was we had a REM pod on the stair, we had the REM pod on the mantle of the fireplace, and then we had a REM pod in a different room. All 3 went off at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't figure out why.
And that happens a lot. I mean, yes, of course, you got to look, is there a TV on the other side of the wall, whatever else you debunk. But I think most of us in our gut, we know. We know if it's 1, it's 2, it's, if something else is there, if it's evil, I'm not going to say evil, if it's mean, if it's
negative.
Something. Chris and Hailey, have you with your intuitiveness, Chris, in your investigations, have you run into anything that you honestly believe is either evil? I'm not going to say demonic, but evil, malevolent, like it can actually hurt you or kill you?
I'll let you go first, Chris.
I don't really think that I have to that extent. No. I mean, I've had a couple of experiences where I think there was a dark and evil spirit or whatever, but I don't feel like it was, I don't think it would have, I didn't feel like I was being potentially or in danger of being harmed or anything. So it didn't give me that kind of vibe. Hailey, have you?
I would say I've never came across anything demonic like that ever before. I would say I've definitely come across maybe malevolent-ish or mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that was more so like kind of, I was in its territory and I wasn't supposed to be. And at the time I didn't recognize I was gifted. But I had night terrors, and the boyfriend at the time had the same night terror, and then how can you deny that, and then just feeling the sensation in the room itself too. And I even warned his mom, I'm like, how can you sleep in there? Like, it was that intense. Like, I have not out of the house by said spirit. So
I have not until I worked a case here recently that somebody actually flat out told me they did a chant for the devil itself.
Oh,
the fuck? What? Because if you believe in this, if you honestly believe in what you're doing, you're gonna know you can't control it. It's not your puppet. You become its puppet if this is what you're about to do. Well, they came to us for help. This person did. Okay, wonderful.
Now, I will say I have came across a spirit with horns, though, but it wasn't evil.
Kind of portraying as something else.
No, it was more so like kind of, I wouldn't say it was a human spirit. I don't know if you pick up on anything different than human.
I can't tell. I really can't tell.
I can tell. I wouldn't say like like, I don't know. There's just a different essence with humans and versus others. And that was up in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was
Maybe.
just, and that was just really, it was just a really interesting like download per se.
Uh-huh.
So
Do you think maybe it was like an elemental, something like that?
yes, more on that. And I think with like humanoid looking spirits, I think that those can be misconstrued sometimes as being evil or the devil or whatever. Just because we're so modern and disconnected from nature these days.
Yeah.
Chris brought.
Yeah, that's possible.
Chris brought up a Wendigo, maybe.
No.
I know
Hey
that
guys, before we get,
viewers try to be all big and bad.
hey guys,
I laugh.
I'm just have to jump off. But it was so nice meeting y'all.
It was
The rest of y'all,
It was nice
I love y'all.
meeting you too.
If y'all
Yeah.
ever get to Mississippi, y'all come see me.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Take care.
Right. What about
I'm gonna have to hop off. I'm gonna have to hop off pretty quick too. I keep getting text messages. They're waiting on me.
What are they waiting on you for? Dinner?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
so they I had some friends that came in town, and it's one of them's birthday, and they didn't tell me until the very last minute because they were trying to surprise somebody. And so I told them, I said, well, I have something going on, but I can probably cut out a bit early. So anyhow, but I am going to dip off. But listen, it's been great talking with you guys. I'd love to chat further. Just obviously not right now, but it's been wonderful talking with y'all. And thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for having me. And Hailey, I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, y'all.
Take care, Chris.
Bye.
Brad.
Brad. You don't want to go back there, Brad. You're still living at this point.
And then there were four.
Talking about, all of these spirits, and sometimes you can't tell the difference between this and that. What about animal spirits?
Yeah. Like I have a cat's spirit in my garage and stuff. So sometimes, but I don't really come across too many animal spirits myself. So
I think part of, and I haven't met too many people like this, but when you were younger, like some of your first memories of animals and things, okay, so I was probably in my late 30s before I realized other people cannot pick up animals' thoughts or look in their eyes and realize they're scared or they're hungry or they're friendly, whatever the case might be, or how they're feeling. I thought everybody could do this. And my husband at the time goes, what are you talking about? The animal's scared. It's a damn dog. It's sitting here in front of you. I'm like, you don't see that? He's like, no, it's a dog. I'm like, wait a minute. So I started asking people. They're like, no, what are you talking about? Oh, I didn't realize not everybody could do this. So, were you able to do that at a young age?
yeah, I've always been. Actually, that's like kind of like one of the things I'm trying to unlock because I have a really strong connection with animals too. So like they love me, I love them. My friends or people around me, like they'll start noticing. They're like, "Oh, this bitch is a Disney princess," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." Like,
because I May.
Yeah. And I personally don't believe that animals are like less than. Like, I don't think humans are superior. Like, I very much kind of feel we're very equal.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I'm also open to. And one of the coolest experience I had recently was I was at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, and the hippo came like right up to the window, like all like out of the water from the very back, came all the way up, greeted each other, went back on its way. And
Wow.
my sister-in-law has like a video of it, like too. And then another instance, this happened a couple of years ago, but I was like with my nephew, and we're all camping and stuff. And we were kind of like on a rock and like in the shallow, and he was probably 4 at the time. And I was holding him, and I was like kind of teaching him like how to connect with the ducks. Like they were kind of like coming past us, and he was like getting excited. I'm like, no, be quiet, just center yourself. And then all of a sudden, all the ducks just started surrounding us. I think they thought that we had food, but the fact that they completely surrounded us without any fear or anything, especially since we didn't have food to offer and then hang around, that was pretty neat. So
That's yeah, and that's one thing. Animals know. Animals just know. Of course, they've never been taught not to be intuitive like we have. We have the filters. We have the, oh no, you did not see that from our parents, or what crazy stuff are you? You must be schizophrenic. What?
Yep. My mom said that to me before. I'm like, I can't be schizophrenic and run a business, Mom. That don't work like that, and not unmedicated. Like,
yeah.
So it's just like the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
I've also learned how to talk to plants too in one of my last classes I took.
Yeah.
That was really interesting because I've had like the tree in my backyard. The fence is built like kind of through the tree's in the middle of the fence, so the fence is built around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, hey, can I have some more wiggle room? And then my neighbor's tree from across the street wanted to get my attention and everything. It's like, hey, tell them I'm not dead, that I'm alive and stuff like that. And even like told me about like its root system underneath. And I didn't know that I was telling my neighbor, I'm like, hey, your tree talked to me. She's native, so it wasn't too weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, like your tree, one thing, it's still alive and it has a pest problem, but its roots go all the way to your back concrete patio area. And she says at that location, that's where she does her like grounding, and I didn't know that. So that helped to validate that. So it was really cool doing that. So I've been practicing that.
Yeah.
Or like when I go on like hikes and things like that, just to see. And everything.
She's using the tree and the tree is using her.
Yeah.
They're coexisting. They're keeping each other alive.
Yeah.
Or grounded, whichever the case might be. But yeah, I listened to, and this is something that clicked recently. I was listening to a woman on one of the shows that we host. She was talking about, she's completely Christian, and that, God bless her. That's her thing. I have no problem with that. But she was talking about praying over, they were growing rice and they were trying an experiment, praying over rice. And then it come out of the same lot. And before they planted it, they prayed over this rice. And then they were like mad and had nasty intentions over this.
Yeah, that's actually an experiment from a doctor physician from, I believe, Japan that's been done. And it's like called the rice experiment.
And she did that. And she said, it's true. And I'm like, okay. So let's some of us put good intentions, not necessarily praying over it, but whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
Good intentions, and then put these in a room where people are fighting and arguing and it's just ucky. See what happens. It's gonna be the same thing. It's intention. I don't care what religion you are, it is intention. And that's why, you guys are talking about the Wiccan and the shaman. I think they should do great together because they're really not that far off.
Oh, we're
you know,
getting along
Wiccans.
so well. It wasn't the best, like, because they were expecting a little bit of conflict and stuff with the different belief systems.
Yeah, no.
And we got along so well. They weren't expecting it to be like so cozy and.
Well, sure, because it's the earth. It's the earth for both. That's where it all comes from. That's and you know, Indians. I don't know if Indians were the first Wiccans were the first Indians. I don't know, but it's worked out perfectly. And why are we messing with what works? I mean, no matter what you call it, it works.
That stuff is personal to the individual, and as long
Right.
as they're not causing harm to somebody, to themselves or somebody else,
Mhm.
to each their own.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it ain't my business. So
Right. And you know,
you're
you're
my
not
bills. You don't get to have an opinion about me, and it ain't my business. So
the 3 F's. If you're not doing the 3 F's, do not worry about what I'm doing. That's yep, exactly. I actually looked it up because I was talking to my husband and I said, you know, what do they call somebody who believes there is a higher power but doesn't know exactly what that higher power is? And you know, and so I was looking it up. There is actually a word for it.
Agnostic.
No. Agnostic is there is no higher power.
No, agnostic is like you don't have proof either way.
Okay, right. Okay, so this is called omnism.
yeah,
And it's the belief in a fusion of faiths in harmony. Like you can take a little from this faith and a little from this faith and, you know, not shame any faith and think, you know, this part works here. This part works. I'll take this and I'll take this. And this is going to
is that one that's kind of like with the collective consciousness, or am I leaning more towards animalism?
I think they both use that.
Okay.
I think they both have that. But, you know, that's kind of where I identify is, you know, both. And for some reason, you have a moment in life, and whether it's when you're 15 or in my case, 49, that you figure out what I've been taught is not quite right. Or I don't think it's right for me. It's not saying it's not right. It's not right for me.
Right.
So let me find what it is that works for me.
Well, and it's okay to like evolve outside of your belief system too, of what you once knew. So like, I don't like to be boxed in because I feel like it prevents me from like learning.
Right.
And so like, I'm just me doing my thing and
Yeah.
like, but also too, I've had experiences like what maybe like religious people call it like gods or goddesses and stuff like that. I look at them more as like just deities, like,
right.
you know, and I would even categorize like aliens in there too, you know, in a weird way, because those ancient god and goddesses wouldn't be so popular today if people weren't connecting to them, especially when they don't have the knowledge in front of them, whether it be books or internet. And seeing how those things like show up too. If I'm like working with somebody, and it's another reason why I don't like to close myself off, because if I connect with a deity per se, and that deity could help that person, and it could be a Christian deity, that's not a religion I follow or anything, but that if I can help connect that deity to that person and that helps enhance their life and make it better, why not?
Yeah. And it's their belief. So that's going to help them. That's why, you know, if I'm doing an investigation and I see something that's, you know, I can't help, I can't get rid of. We can't get rid of spirits. I mean, people say we can't. No, we cannot. They have to want to go. We have to convince them to go. And if they don't want to go, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's up to them. So
yeah, you can sage all you want to and piss them off, but ultimately, you know, sage is great for me. It's great for residual. and clear that space and the feng shui and all that, great. That's perfect. But lighting some sage is not going to get rid of anything that don't want to go.
Well, also too, you have to believe in the tools you're working with as well.
Right.
If you don't believe in the tools you're working with, you're not going to get the results that you want.
No.
And sometimes
And-
it does take time too, because it took me forever, because I'm a very scientific person. I'm very
Yep.
like, rational, because I wasn't allowed to believe in what I wanted to believe when I was younger and stuff. So it took a lot, and I would actually like ask, I'm like, hey, I need you to show it in the physical world. You can't be just making me look silly out here. Like, bring something to help connect the dots a little bit.
Right.
So, and I've just had enough experiences, and also with other people that help validate those things too. And I'm also open to being wrong too, like, because I'm still learning. Like, I want people to challenge me, because it's only going to make me better. And also, like, I'm open to criticism and stuff, as long as your intention's well.
Exactly.
If you're an asshole, you can fuck off.
Oh, we'll challenge you, right? If you want to take the challenge.
Pardon?
We'll challenge you, all right, if you want to take that.
Yeah, like, well, how can I get better if I'm not? Like,
Very true.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
people-
you're not successful unless you fail.
that's exactly. And unfortunately, people are very nasty with their challenges. But what I've learned is their challenges have made me better, because I'm like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Watch me. That's helped me more than people that have pushed me. You know, it's, oh yeah, that's my go button is, oh, you can't do this. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me.
Absolutely.
Hold my beer and watch this shit.
So we do have a question for you.
You help with or do past life regression on a person?
I haven't had that experience. I've had that experience with myself and one of my medium friends that knows how to do it. I don't have that knowledge yet in order to facilitate that quite yet. I do have, I don't know if anyone's familiar with like the Akashic records.
I am actually doing a course on those right now.
I know I have access to it. I don't always know how to reach it, but sometimes I can. And I have done that for like my husband, where I went in and looked at his records and brought back the information. So, but I encourage you to try it out. Meditation definitely is going to help that be a lot easier for you if that's something you're looking into, and be ready to see what you're seeing, because both times it's definitely a interesting process for sure.
I tell you what, I've been waiting to see. I've been waiting to see that door there in front of you open up in that mirror.
Why?
No.
Why?
Huh?
I don't know.
I have a hallway ghost though, but they don't usually have enough energy to do that kind of, to open the door.
That'd be really cool, though.
I see the door and I'm thinking it's going to open at some point. I'm just waiting on that to happen.
Okay, Jeremy, you talk about not having that. See, you weren't even.
No,
Stop right there. Don't. Shut. Hush.
Doesn't he have one over there by his bookcase? I thought I felt one or something earlier over there.
Did you know she had a hallway ghost?
What's that?
Did you know she had a hallway ghost?
No.
Ooh.
Then why are you looking at that little tiny little bitty door? I didn't even notice. Because you said
it is
something.
so out of place.
No.
The whole background. It is so out of place. So I am focused on that one little.
You could rationalize that all you want to, but no. I didn't even notice that. I was focusing on her energy. I didn't even notice that. So tell me you ain't got some shit, boy.
That's because I am extremely observant.
Yes, and that's what's helping you with this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's right here. Katie says it best. I'm just being nosy. Just being nosy.
Kate,
That's
do not
so true.
facilitate to him. Kate, do not do that. I saw the snowboards. It's awesome. Yes, those are right behind her. So yes, you would see that.
I actually thought those were shelves.
Intuition.
They are. They're snowboards.
Yeah, snowboard shelf.
Yeah.
It's a shelf for snowboards.
See the thing right in front of you. You did not notice, Mr. Nosy.
I
But
noticed
you noticed the
shelves
paranormal.
because I noticed the shelves because I was paying attention to that little plush dog right there in the center. Then I started paying attention to the doggy bed there underneath the window and thinking, okay, dog's going to come in. Maybe a dog will come in through the door. There's that door in the mirror. Door opens.
No, they're too big of a distraction to come in. Got 3 big hounds.
I'm just going to shut up now.
Used to
Yeah.
snowboard back in the day.
Yeah, you can't tell me that no more.
But I keep forgetting to buy like a pack of just basic, those flashcards you would give maybe like a 3 or 4-year-old, and it has basic shapes on those. I'm about to buy me a pack of those so I can practice and train myself.
Don't buy anything. That's what I was going to tell you earlier.
Okay.
The lady who helped me when I didn't believe shit, she did this thing that was so cool. She would show me a picture of somebody, which I can read pictures. That's my thing. And if somebody comes to me, I can get a little bit names, what their message is, whatever. But pictures is my thing. Of course, we didn't know that at the time. And she showed me this picture of this person. I did this to Jeremy too. And of course, not the same person, but I didn't know anything about this person. And I took a nap before work, and I got these words out of nowhere. Said, "I'm not here." What?
What?
And
the
so
hell are you talking
I
about,
text her.
Jeremy? Oh.
I text her.
Mention Kate.
Oh, okay.
And she said, "That's perfect." I said, What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. She said, "We've been looking for her. That's my cousin. And we've been looking for her. So she is telling you where we're looking is not where she is." I'm like, oh my gosh, that's coincidence. Moved on. And then she showed me a picture of an envelope. She said, "There's something in this envelope. You tell me what you get." And I'm like, there's no way I can do this. And I told her what I saw, which was totally crazy. I said something about a road and lines that go this way. And she said, okay. And she opened up the picture, and it was a road, and the lines were trees. I just wasn't seeing trees. I was seeing lines.
Mm-hmm.
But we did that exercise for a while, and that was absolutely amazing to be able to do
my
that.
shaman did that with me with his medicine pouches, and they don't open their medicine pouches, so you don't even get to see what's in them whatsoever. And he told me to, and I'll also sketch things out too. I'm actually a pretty good artist. So because sometimes I get the photographs in my head.
Right.
And things. So like it was like a coin, a feather, like some kind of intricate crystal thing, but I like said it was like something else and everything. But it was like so unique in the design. But I drew the basic shape of that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's what that was." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like so every time I do it, I'm like, achievement unlocked, like score.
Right. And she did that with me, and then she did this. She said, like this house. She said, okay, there's this house. And she said, it's in this state. And that's about all she said. So pretty much I was having to read her thoughts. And it was like a 5-second thing. And she said, I need you to go into that house. and tell me what you see. Well, I thought I was just pulling shit out of thin air,
Yeah.
but turns out I was right. And how, I still don't know, but I have done that with other people, and some can do it and some take a little practice, but eventually they can do it. And
Yeah.
it's just awesome to watch people evolve like that.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
It's super fun too, just like learning, because there's so many different types too.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, the clairs and everything. So yeah, and just
I
trying to
don't
figure
know.
out where I'm trying to figure out where my strong suits are, because I have more than one, and that makes it challenging.
That's it. And I don't know. I can't say that I'm one or the other or two or four of them or anything else, because like I'll be laying in bed, and the other night it was just so strange. Before I even, in that almost awake state, but you're not,
Mm-hmm.
I heard a name, but it wasn't audio heard it. It was just popped in my head for no reason. And then the sweetest voice said, "I love you." And I woke up.
No.
I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Like, how do I know this? I don't know this name. So I'm trying to message my friends, who knows this person? Because this message is not for me. Whose is it? I still don't know. But I don't know a Catherine Henson. Have no idea who she is. But that's the name I got. And then that sweet voice I heard that said, "I love you." So whoever she belongs to, my God, please take her. Things like that, because, or I could see somebody. I was turned the other way and somebody standing beside my bed. I never turned over, but I could see what they were wearing. I knew what they were saying, but I never had to turn over, because you see them with your third eye, not actually look
Right.
at them. So, things like that.
I hate
Really?
before I go to bed, I start seeing people's faces. Like people I don't
I
even
have
know.
done that.
I hate that. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to sleep and y'all all up in my biz. Like I can't focus.
And I never know who they are.
And I'm ADHD too, so it takes a lot for me just to calm down.
Yep. Yeah. If you ever get into mediumship, let me know, because I'm the only one that I am aware of that's like this. But I don't know anybody else, ADHD, that does this. I'll be working and doing 10 other things and doing a reading. Other people have to shut down, clear their mind. I cannot do that, because then I'm thinking everything's wrong. But if I'm doing it spur of the moment while I'm doing something else, the first thought, I type it out and it's right. I don't get it, but that's the way I do my readings.
I have to do everything. Like I feel like, so I have performance anxiety, and that's before I had any of this. So that's what I'm trying to overcome now, because as I continue to explore and use like my practice and my gifts, I already do it naturally a lot, where it freaks people out.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, like when I want to do it with intention and like actually try, I don't want to overwhelm myself, because it's so easy to, because I want to do a good job.
Right.
Right. And so, but it's also why I don't do it like I don't market it. I don't accept payment if people allow me to practice. I'm also a stylist too. So the other day I had a client I've never met before allow me to tap in.
Oh, wow.
Hair has spiritual ties too, depending on whatever belief system you use. And I was noticing, like, I was not letting go of her hair after I was tapping in. And I also get foggy in the middle of it too. So trying to learn how to balance all that, because I'll lose my memory as I'm channeling, because I take a back seat too.
Right.
So
that's actually really awesome that you can do that. I've never met a beginner that is that in tune with it this early.
Really?
So I can't wait to see what you become.
Well, I've been practicing. I've been meditating for at least 10 years before I started embracing the journey. And that's played a big part of it too.
I need to do a lot more of that than I do.
Adrian actually
What's that?
tested me one time about 3 years ago. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 2 to 3. Yeah.
Well, it was more than 2 years ago because I was at work when you did this to me, and I haven't been there for over 2 years now, and hopefully never ever again. But that's a different story. She sent me a picture of this woman, and she wanted to get my thoughts on her. I forget what she was asking for. But I looked at the picture and I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the not just the smile, but how she was smiling and how everything was. How when it's difficult to
Your
describe
scientific mind trying to override.
in how smiles meet your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her this woman is not happy. She's smiling, but she is not happy. She is miserable about something. She wishes she could change something, but I know that smile. And she told me I was absolutely right because she knew this woman because she was related to her. Oh,
That's my mother.
yeah. And
That was my biological mother that gave me up for adoption and had 7 kids after me.
yeah, she told me that everything that I had said was her to a T. And
Oh wow.
You have it. You just have to want to use it. And your scientific mind wants to take over instead of using it.
You just need to use the paranormal technology with it.
well, right now I'm trying to get rid of the paranormal stuff out of my mind because I want to write stories that's going to scare the shit.
Well, paranormal, real life doesn't scare the shit out of you more than the sci-fi shit.
Well, if you would read The Real Exorcist that I wrote a few months ago, it would scare the shit out of you too.
Isn't that paranormal?
It's
I was going to say
part,
that's paranormal.
yeah, it's part paranormal.
Okay.
But-
And was there a spirit there that somebody had to read to understand that there was a spirit there? Or a devil or demon or whatever the hell you want to call it?
In this case, in evil Indian spirit.
That's something I won't fuck with. I don't know why, but Indians are very strong in spirit, and that's something. Hailey, you might know what I'm talking about. I don't understand this. I've been given ideas about it by people that do not know for sure. But my ex-husband, we were divorced long ago. My son was 5, and my son is now 23, 24. My ex-husband died about 6 years ago. So we hadn't been together. We co-parented perfectly. No problems. He hit me. I left. End of story. That's one chance is all you got, buddy. But we did fine. Same one that I told you I went to go see his grave. But I've never had a dream about him ever. Now, he did come to a medium for me and say, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
which I knew what he said I'm sorry for. And that was it. But I have had dreams about him. I had him for like 6 days. And it was like every other day and then 2 days. And it was really strange. But in each dream, like one of them, we were in a place that we've always been, Salina Temple. And he shows up and there was an Indian funeral going on.
Oh, wow.
And I left and saw him, told him, you need to go help with this funeral. And that was the end of it. The next one, there was an explosion. We were in a parking lot and there was an explosion. I was with friends, but I wasn't scared. I looked over, he's there. And I knew in my dream he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for signs of decomp or anything else. And all I could see was a swollen eye. That was it. And then there was one other dream of him. And I still have no idea, why am I dreaming of this man? And one lady told me, she said, because he's protecting you. I said, from what? She said, I don't know. I said, but I'm not Indian. She said, yes, you had one of theirs. So you are a part of them. Like, okay, we're going to go with this, I guess. But I've never had dreams of him. And 7 years later, all of a sudden, I mean, I hadn't even thought of him. And my son is having dreams of his brother who committed suicide.
Mhm.
He was actually murdered, but they wrote it up to suicide.
Right.
So we don't know what's going on, but it's like, what are these Indians doing right now? Because they need to go lay back down for a while. This is not okay.
Hey, I think like just having the acknowledgement of the spirit trying to protect you, just like, hey, like, I don't know what's up, but thanks.
Yeah.
Just I think it's also too because like I don't know, like so I'm Norwegian. That's where my family's from. So I guess I'm technically second generation American and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I feel like with native land and everything, if you're tuned in and tapped in and you have good intentions and they choose to, I think that they see that you're better as a help or like an ally for them and protecting what's sacred to them. But I've also, and I think that just depends on the region and demographic you're into. And I've been to Norway and it's a completely different vibe versus like I'm more connected with and this was also too before I realized I was like gifted and stuff. And like I had like tattoos that was like a part of the art and architecture that you would see in like Norway, but I didn't realize that I just liked it and slapped it on my body. Right. I'm connected. And then when I got there, I'm like, oh, okay, this is coming full circle now. Like, and it's just it's
really strange because most of my blood is Viking. I am 98% Viking.
Yeah.
The rest is like Black German or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's absolutely no reason for it. But I connect more with the land. I connect more with, where Vikings really didn't, but they do a lot of the things that we do now. The moral compass, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you barking? You have no reason to be barking.
Zach's home.
No, he's not. And that's what bothers me because ain't nobody here. They're barking at absolutely nothing.
We do have a question for you. Then we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, 2 questions actually. I'll start off with this one. What Kate asked.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really a good one.
I look at what I've learned in my experience and teachings and stuff that really like the body and the soul just disconnect after that. And in spiritual practices and stuff, you have like and in shamanistic practices, you have your middle world, your upper world, and your lower world and everything. But the soul also has the option to choose whether to stay or go, from my understanding. If they choose to stay, like sometimes it's to help out like family or they're helping another soul cross over. And then there's a point in like, I guess a plane per se that they'll go, but they're not going to be returning as often for visits or communication and stuff like that. For example, my brother passed away. And I was trying to connect with him and stuff. And he's like, don't worry about it. Stop. He told me kind of like, not like stop, like trying to like reach out or contact. It's just like, I'm good and I'm moving on. And I'm like, all right. Love you. He's like, I'm here. I'm here. I'll let you know. So, and that's just it. And so like, and after that conversation, like, it will be like years before like I might get like any type of communication whatsoever or something. So Yeah. So from what I've learned, that's kind of how it works and stuff. Watched this one like little mini series with like someone who was, I think she was like a medium, but like she does things with like the spiritual meanings of like tattoos and stuff like that. And she connected with like souls from the Titanic. She was channeling with them. And I thought that was like really interesting because she was talking about how there are souls that didn't know that they were dead. And then there were souls that were helping taking care of them, and they weren't crossing over because they were waiting for them to cross over first because they were helping guide them towards that. So
That would have to be hard, being dead and not knowing it.
yeah, but also to my understanding, like we don't have the human emotional construct or burden that follows when they cross over. So it's more kind of like almost like a childlike communication and understanding, and the earthly rules just don't apply. So like time, like it's not like they're sitting in time for over like how we experience it, because they don't experience time the same way we do. Time is a human construct. And that's where a lot of our limitations are with humans and the other spaces that are out there.
Completely agree with that.
Now, the other question I got here, what Kate had said is, I've been told I'm a healer by a few random different people in different countries, but I have no idea what that means. I should go into healthcare and not teaching?
No, Kate. No.
Kate, going into healthcare would be a very hard thing to.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, no.
I think either one is hard these days, to be quite honest. Like
it is.
But
I would choke the shit out of some little kids that want to talk to you the way they do now.
But yeah, I'll let y'all. I know it wasn't specific to me, but
no, I think it was.
Oh,
but Kate,
I say practice both, or at
You
least
got
like practice healing, because that could always be. You can always use that as a hobby and help heal people. And sorry, squirrel. Yeah, like if you get really good at the healing, then teach the healing.
Yeah.
So,
and if you want to do that, Kate, hit me up. I do that. Of course, I have to actually make lots of money, so I have a job first, but I do it on the side. So, yeah.
All right.
That's
So
your response, though. There you go.
So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Because the next show is on Myth or Mystery. So Hailey, thank you for being on the show with us tonight. And thank for Chris and Regina. Thank them definitely for being on the show as well. When you guys get that second episode out there, we'll definitely have you back on.
absolutely.
I
Real
can't wait
quick.
to see where you go.
Real
You're
quick,
gonna be
Jeremy,
awesome.
even though we're about to get off, who is this Facebook user now?
We're about to get off because then we'll go because we need to end the
Yeah.
show.
Kate, we'd love to answer this next one, but yeah, we do have to end, though, unfortunately.
Healers are all encompassing for Kate. So it could be like physical, mental, spiritual. It's all one system. You need them all in order to help the body and stuff. So, okay. All right.
There you go. There you go. Oh, it's Donald.
Hey,
Now, how are you showing up as Facebook?
Yeah, that's odd. But there you go, Kate.
Anyway, so until next week, everybody, thank you so much for playing along. I don't know what we're going to be doing for next week, but now we are, 6 episodes from number 100, something like that?
This was episode 94, so next week will be 95.
So we're 6 episodes away from 100. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Unbelievable.
All right.
We made it.
So again, thank you, Hailey, for being on the show. Until next week, You guys take care.
Have a good night.